crap, flight's delayed. I don't think we're gonna make this live stream.
Come on, man.
Let's go, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on, close the door, close the door. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Everybody, thank you for joining us here in sunny, I can say that, very Syracuse, New York.
Yes, it is. It's nice today.
I know.
How about that?
You guys just made it from the airport. What they didn't see is that there were security guards chasing you that we outran.
Luckily, you had the COO of the whole airport on speed dial.
I did.
We called him off.
Thank you, Jason.
Great.
Thank you, Jason. Well, thank you for joining us today on the live stream. Thank you for joining us here in person. We see this as a monumental day for what we're calling Master Plan Phase 2 of the More Than Cars movement. So the real big question and the real big vision that we have is how can we make retail automotive an industry that people fight to join? How can we do that? How can we make the retail auto industry an industry that people fight to join? In order to do that, we're going to have great companies. We're going to have great service. More than that, we need to make sure it's a place where people feel like they can thrive. And it's no secret, the auto industry doesn't have that reputation at large. And we thought it was a shame because all the best leaders we knew and all the most amazing organizations that I knew happen to be car dealers. And I would say that, hey, if my kids were in a strange place and there was a police station and a car dealership, they would actually go to the car dealership first. Because every dealer that they've met, they've been amazing people and they've helped them. So in this vision, it's audacious, we know, because you think about all the stories we have from the auto industry, and a lot of the times they start with, I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I saw an ad in the paper that said, make $80,000 your first year. But we're gonna flip that script together, and with everybody that's a part of this movement, we've been obsessing over how do we make this a more established movement that people can attach to, people can be a part of, and then people can infuse throughout their organizations. So we've been saying this for a long time, though. This isn't the first time we're saying this, and we prepared a little video just because we kept some receipts.
Today is about banding together, no party lines. I personally believe that business is more meaningful when people connect on a human level.
If we can get people actually interacting to a place where they want to be in automotive, what's the customer base like? Actually excited about buying a car.
There is a better way. Things that can be better can be done, and you invest every single ounce of your attention to make it so.
The culture and perception of retail automotive needs to be elevated. And the culture and the perception starts every day when you walk in your store. Industry partners, auto dealers, every single day, the culture and the perception that happens in your store is actually what begins to change the other stuff.
We believe that is a trajectory that this industry is on.
We're much more powerful than perhaps sometimes we give ourselves credit for.
Literally everything we do is centered around that belief that we can change the lives of hundreds of thousands and even millions of people.
We are trying to normalize people first thinking in this industry. We believe it's our job to hold the rest of the industry accountable to it.
Thinking about people first actually helps us prioritize better process, better customer experience, which strangely enough leads to more profitability.
Thriving people fix problems better, faster, more efficiently, more profitably.
Say it loud. This industry is truly built different.
It's not can we do it. All the data says we can, but the question is, will we?
So when we make bold claims like this, and when we call people to this,
A lot of times people ask us, well, what really are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? We see events, we have newsletters and emails, and we make things, and we show up at other events. And when Paul said we keep the receipts, it's important for us because, you know, whether it's myself or Paul or Michael, it's something that we deeply believe. And so we've been moving for a long time. We've been moving in a direction, but even for us, it's been hard to really say, what is it that we believe? How do we do this? Who actually are we? We've had people ask us, what are you even doing? Why are you even doing it? What type of company are you? And what does it mean to this industry? And so that movement, honestly, us just setting things in motion has brought us to today, a place that we can actually say, this is who we are. This is what we do. This is why we do it, so that we can call others to something that is real. Not just something pie in the sky or ethereal or something that you have to pin together through a bunch of different times we talk on stage or you listen to a podcast in the morning, something that has a clear trajectory toward it. And it was the movement that provided the momentum to get to where we are today. So that's where we're going to leave this, with Paul finally giving us exactly why we've gathered here today.
Okay. You put that really well, by the way.
Thank you.
He has a way with words. He has a way with words. The big reason that we wanted to get so many people together, the big reason that all the photos you've seen on social media, which, you know, little admission, we seeded like 10 of those, and we were actually surprised at how fast it caught on. People letting us know they want to be a part of the movement. Text messages coming in. We have CEOs of publicly traded companies texting and saying, what's going on? Am I missing something? Should I be a part of it? And it's a lot of fun to do that, but I think what it really is an indicator that people connect with what we do and why we do it. Even if, one of the funniest comments that I got, I have no idea who you are or what's going on, but I'm going to be on the live stream. Right? The funniest comment, but I really believe that what we put into the world, actually the world feels it. And it comes back to us. Not that, you know, More Than Cars or Soto are going to be some amazingly like world-leading company, but I believe we can be a world-changing company. And because I believe this can be a world-changing industry, because it starts really, really small, and it started super small during COVID. And now the fact that people are willing to show up is because they look around and they say, like, people believe in this. And if you go and you read the comments, you see people talking about wearing their Love People More Than You Love Cars shirt at a parent's deathbed, and having conversations in a hospital, and on their last day because they got let go of a job and it reminded them of something. And I believe when people connect with things that way, in that kind of meaningful way, there's a sense of thriving that happens in their life and in their heart, and that thriving spills out. And everybody can't always define why it is, but they know there's something there. And so what we wanted to do and we've been working, how can we establish this movement, not in a way where we're out all over the country just in social media feeds and emails, but how do we put down roots? So today we're announcing that we've actually merged two companies together to double the size of the More Than Cars team. Yeah, I guess we some spot. We can clap for that, by the way. And what that means is that there is now a more substantial organization and company to serve you, whether you work here, whether you are in the automotive industry, or whether you just showed up on the live stream because you didn't know why, but you just wanted to be here. You're now a part of it. And I want to let you know that now you're a part of it, whether you like it or not. You should get a shirt. And so the company we merged into the Asoto team that many people know was my agency named Congruent, which goes way back. I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years. I started as a reconditioning company. I got a job in a car dealership as a service advisor, started a reconditioning company, started servicing dealers all over the Northeast, fell in love with the industry, started a creative agency. The reconditioning company got acquired by a larger company, and I met somebody named Gary Vaynerchuk, which many of you knew. Many of you know or know of at least Gary V. And little by little, I got more ingrained in their organization to the point where I was invited to take part in a mentorship program, and that for 3 years, I got a front row seat to how VaynerMedia and Gary operated an agency. But really, I think if you know Gary, he's more about operating in a movement disguised as businesses. And so as we went through that phase, the agency grew, and COVID hit, and Danielle was there, Nate was there, Robin was there, and no one knew what to do. Things were closed down, and I thought, what can I do to just help people feel a little bit better? And when that situation hit, a lot of people know there's a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. And in the auto industry, I got to be on Zoom calls, which was really funny to watch auto dealers figure out how to use Zoom during COVID. It was I wish I had a reel of that, because that would be what everybody would show up for. And what happened was thousands of people showed up to this live stream just because there was an element of togetherness, right? It was a very partisan time in our country, and the auto industry has a way of breaking through those types of things and bringing people together and serving them around something as fundamental as transportation. And so as that happened, ASOTU started to grow. I met Kyle, and very quickly we realized we saw a lot of things in the same way. And then we started talking about how do we make ASOTU, which was Automotive State of the Union, which I named it that way because I needed to trick people into showing up so it sounded official. We had a big presidential looking thing, the stars flew in, it was awesome. We'll play that at some point. And Kyle and I decided to raise a little money from dealer investors, some of which are in this room, who believed that this needed to happen. And so that is where the movement grew. And then alongside the agency congruent and ASOTU have grown to the point where ASOTU started outpacing the agency because people were understanding what we were doing. And I had this moment where I was a CEO of two companies, and there were so many synergies between them. And Robin, she's hiding. She is like, you dare not put me on a camera. And Robin, we had talked about it for a long time, like, hey, there's got to be a way these two work together. And Robin said, she's like, I think we should really think about what this looks like. And so that kicked off a conversation that very quickly turned into a certainty. And now, because we brought these two companies together, it took a while, even though there's a lot of shared ownership. Now the More Than Cars movement has a team of almost 30 people working to infuse this mentality throughout the industry day in and day out. We have, how about the studio, right? It's really nice. We're in Syracuse, New York now. We have a 10,000 square foot headquarters where I hope more people come and visit and see, because we just hung yesterday a big Love People More Than You Love Cars banner out front. We're gonna light it so that everyone that drives by sees what we believe in. And the More Than movement, as we kind of call it a little bit, because it's broader than just automotive, we hope that more people understand that what you do can be connected with why you do it. And when people are at the center of that in a time of AI and robots and, taking all these people saying we're taking the humanity out of things, like, we believe just the opposite. We believe this is going to be the most important part and the most important time in history when people actually understand how much they need each other. And we get to do that through fun things, right? But meaningful things. People show up every day and they need the auto industry for a reason. We were talking like, it's the only necessary purchase that you can't figure out another way around for the expense. Like if you need housing, right, and your budget is $800 a month, and there's only apartments or whatever for $1,100, what do? You get a roommate. You can't solve that problem with a car. You can't rent a car for a month. You can't Uber your way around. That'll quickly be as expensive as having a car. We were just talking about this. And so everything we're doing, what we are doing today, and what we're going to tell you a little bit more about is how we're going to infuse that more by bringing these two companies together, how we're going to bring that together and hopefully help more people be a part of this and infuse the energy of this into the organization or into the industry. We're going to walk you through a few things right now. We got some visuals. I'm a creative, right? We love brand guides, right? We do. And we love making them too long, right? Including all kinds of stuff that we're like, you need this in your brand guide. And a lot of people are like, I don't think I need that. No, you need it in your brand guide. But we always enjoy seeing this. But for us, as the companies came together, it allowed us an opportunity to actually clarify our trajectory a little bit more. A lot of times people would ask us, what do you actually do? And we haven't always been able to answer that question. But now that the company has emerged, we're very clearly able to answer that question. And we're going to walk you through a few of these things. And if you like brand guides, you'll nerd out. We're not going to go through every page. But we're building the creative agency, a media partner in retail auto that everyone wants to work with. That is how we're pursuing the mission. Go ahead, flip through to the next one. Next slide. Right, so when we talk about brand messaging, we got to get the vision up front. Vision, mission, values is how everybody thinks. This is our vision as a company. To make retail, auto, and industry people fight to join. That's the vision. That's the whole vision. And we're gonna, we can just pivot through these. We're gonna make things. We're gonna help companies figure things out. We're gonna make things that are fun, events that people like to go to. That's how we're gonna do it, to empower people to pursue the mission of making retail, auto, and industry people fight to join. And we're gonna do that. These are our values. We hope that by sharing this, we can encourage you to maybe adopt some of these. We hope you adopt the vision. We hope you can adopt some of the values, or at the very least, we think you should align your mission and mission and values around what this vision is. So here's how we break down our values, and we want to hold ourselves accountable to these. We're sharing this with all of you because we expect you to hold us accountable to these, and that's the power in sharing something. Our first value is make it meaningful, and basically saying we create and communicate with intention. People don't want to be advertised to. They don't want to be talked at. They want to find some thread of meaning when they're spending time on communication. We have a lot of things that barrage us every day. And so we know as an agency, we want to make the things that we put out into the world and the way we treat one another meaningful. And I think everybody understands, I can't define meaningful for each person, but everybody has it and you know it when you feel it. The second value, this is a very practical one, fewer, better, faster. In a world where AI is telling us you can have as much as you want, how many images do you want? How many words do you want? Type in a little prompt and we'll give that to you. I think we've all come, I just saw, OpenAI announced a new social media platform today, if you didn't hear. And it is only AI-generated content, which makes sense, very on brand. But we believe that this fewer, better, faster mentality is countercultural at this point. Well, how can you make something that's better and faster? Well, if you're creative, you have to make fewer, which means you have to be very focused on what you're making. And you have to know you're making the right thing. Now, we'll use tools and technology and AI to get iterations faster, but it's not more junk faster. Fewer, better, faster is how we're doing it. And there's a good, cheap, fast triangle that a lot of people have seen. I have one that works like this. I'll make a post sometime, and it'll all be fun. Next one, own your line, know the map. This is an accountability mechanism, and everybody knows that if you're going to have a group of people moving together, even if that's a small group, even if that's 2 people, even if it's a family, accountability is the only way that it actually functions in a healthy way. So for us, we put it as own your line and know the map. If you think of a circuit board, every little line on that circuit board has a purpose. It goes from one component to the next component and it connects something. And so we want people to own the line that they're running in, to know what their circuit is and what they have to connect, but also know the whole circuit map and understand why the big components are connected to one another in the way that they are. And so because we want everybody on this More Than Cars team to understand how the components serve one another and how they all serve up to the vision of making retail auto a place that people fight to join. Also, that means as we're working with clients and people who come to events, we can also encourage them in the direction to make this movement actually have some momentum in a singular trajectory. Finally, we wouldn't be us if we didn't put something in our values about caring for one another. Because in the end, we believe that this is the thing that actually matters to people's lives. Do I feel cared for? Do I feel like I'm thriving? And that could be working somewhere, but that can also be just in any relationship. That could be someone who's on the live stream right now, knowing that we're paying attention to you and we will continue to pay attention to you and we care about what is important to you, what matters to your life, not just what we're trying to tell you. So care for one another, foundational, and I think there's a lot of lenience, I think, in this value specifically, because sometimes the truth can be hard, and the truth can be hard to hear, but oftentimes the truth, well, all the time, the truth is the most caring thing you can do for someone. And so we want to cultivate an environment and a community amongst our own people and the people who are closest to us where we understand the real value and nature of care. And sometimes that is support, and sometimes that is truth, but it is always with the intention for the other person's good. This is one that, we were like, do we talk about this on the live stream or do we not? And we decided to do it because whenever we jump into some content, you always wonder like, hey, how can what's going to make somebody write a little note down? Like I have to remember that, or I have to look at that. And our critical actions are one of those things. Critical actions were, if you could go back one slide. So critical actions are something that I got introduced to by Donald Miller. You may have known him, but basically we've all been in organizations or maybe have led organizations where we have a vision and it's on a plaque on a wall, and then we have a mission and no one can repeat it because it's way too long. And then we have values that maybe we remember the nature of them, but if you asked any 4 people, they would give you 4 different variations of that thing, right? Has anyone ever had that experience? Right? Never, Nate. And so the thought is, how do we make the vision, the mission, and values play out in a day-to-day basis in small things that we can remember and small things that we can actually do? And so the idea is that we pick 3 critical actions. I encourage you to pick 3 critical actions in your organization or even personally. This works personally. What are you trying to do? You're trying to get better at music, you're trying to get in better shape, like whatever it is. What are the little behaviors you can do every day that actually keep you on track? So for us, we chose 3 critical actions. Very first one, we can put the slide up now. Ship then sharpen. This has become common vernacular in the last 90 days across the More Than Cars halls since we put this in place. Ship then sharpen. If you're an agency, if you're a tech company, if you're a perfectionist, you just want to make sure it's perfect before it gets out into the world. Therefore, nothing ever gets shipped. Or you ship something so late that it no longer is relevant. So we've taken this approach where we know it'll never be perfect. In music, they say it's never perfect. A song is just released, right? You can always make it better. You can always tweak the reverb. So we release a minimum viable product as soon as possible, and we decide, okay, this is good enough to go out. And then as it gets out in the open, we sharpen it. That has freed up such a lot of our capacity, and I think that's one of the things that I think people will be taking a note on right now, because ship and sharpen is a challenge that a lot of people have. So that's how we try to stay in line. The next one, we try a lot of new things. It is so much easier when someone comes into your organization and you say, before you decide, we're gonna try a lot of new crap. And it's gonna be frustrating and we're gonna get a lot of stuff wrong, but we're gonna try a lot of new things because we know that if we don't try new things in this day and age with the velocity, right, we're gonna be gone. And the market doesn't care. So we have to try a lot of new things. So every day, we're willing to try to something new, and this reminds us of that. Finally, we say, how can I serve you? This is our Chick-fil-A version of my pleasure. I got a text message from a client. Kelly knows what I'm gonna say. She knows the client. And he was like, hey, I'm formally requesting that your team stop asking me, how can I serve you at the end of every call? It makes me feel awkward. To which I said, now you will ask twice. No, just kidding. But that's how I know we're doing it right. How can I serve you? Not can I help you? What can I do for you right now? It's more of an orientation for us. How can I serve you? We say it to one another. We say it to other people. So, and then if you keep flipping through this brand guide, right, we're not going to go through all this. We have great logos and lockups, and Christine and the team worked so hard to make this beautiful. And yeah, hey, let's hear it for the design team. You have to go back 2 slides though. Okay, so this, for some reason, LinkedIn loved this post or loved this picture. And this is one of those fun ways that we just decided we're gonna do our color palette in, Dodge Charger looking vehicles on a desert highway. And those are our colors, and Chris has a great way of naming the colors. So if we go back, if you can't see it from back there, our black, the name of black is Creatives Wear Black. Yes, we are making a t-shirt that say Creatives Wear Black, 100%. This is Electric Lello. This is White Space. We have Artsy Rorange and Blueprint. So I love the names. We're totally making Creatives Wear Black. We might only wear those shirts from now on. We have headlines, fonts, treatments, and things like that. What's at the end of this? Keep going. Keep going. Ugh. We have icons. And yeah, it gets back to this, at the end of our brand guide, right? We like making brand guides for ourselves and other people and helping them define. We think a brand guide should define your culture, and we use it as an onboarding tool. Flip through the brand guide, you'll get an idea. You know what I'm saying? But back to the vision and the mission, putting it first, the vision. How do we make this an industry that everybody wants to work in? People fight to join. And how do we be an agency that everybody wants to work with? I mean, To me, that's a winning combination, right? If people can want to work with you because you're doing a good thing, I don't think there's any better place to be. And really, we've been working quietly to do this over the last 6 months that we haven't been talking about. We haven't been talking about the companies coming together. And we have a really good friend. Many of you know him, Danny Zaslavsky, co-founder of VinQ. He made a video, heard about the launch. He's like, I want to make a video that you can play during the live stream. So Danny, within like a day, shot this video, sent it to us, put it together so that we could share it here.
I'm someone who's always had a big vision. In fact, it's gotten me in trouble sometimes because my vision is often so clear that I have a hard time differentiating between it and reality. But I also think it's my superpower because I believe so much in a direction once I decide. Now, how we get there and what we're going to learn on our way there is what shapes the final product. When we were visioning VinQ Next, we wanted to create a way to communicate to our dealers all the incredible work alongside the people with the mission and the vision in the biggest event and in the most interactive way possible. I knew we needed to partner with someone who could take that energy and meaningfully reflect it back to our dealers and the industry. The More Than Cars creative team understands every corner of both dealerships and technology. They were able to work under pressure, knowing that we wanted over 1,000 people watching live that day. And for the people watching to walk away with a clear understanding of the value of our work. We needed to communicate complex concepts in a simple way, and therefore collaborate in a way that brought our vision to life. The More Than Cars team has a genuine care for people. This foundation allowed both our teams to create VinQ Next, which created a tremendous network effect for us. Although VinQ may have been born 8 years ago, it's taken our lifetime to prepare for this challenge. Trusting the More Than Cars team to collaborate with us has proven to be the right decision.
For us, whether we are putting on an event, writing an email, dropping a social post, creating content for a client, or launching a brand's vision to thousands of people across the internet, it means that we need a team to be able to execute across a ton of different disciplines. That takes leaders and doers. For us, we know that getting the work done is just as important as casting the vision. It's hard work day in and day out in Illustrator and Premiere and InDesign and on Zoom calls. And so that's why we've built an incredible team of account executives and production management and creatives across multiple different disciplines to be able to equip both ourselves to cast this vision deeply into the industry across all of our media outlets, as well as allow others, industry partners, dealers that we've worked with, to cast that vision locally and nationally for themselves. From a leadership perspective, I sit in the COO role, so I get the opportunity to talk about our team a little bit from an operational perspective. I've been in the industry a little over 16 years, spent 12 of those years in the retail side of the industry, opening dealerships in finance, operations, marketing, business development, had the opportunity to transition into some really progressive new ways of thinking in the dealership world. So I sit in that COO seat and I say that my job here for our team is to clear the way, get things out of the way, and make things easy for them to execute at an extremely high level. I'm excited to tell you a bit more about Robin Moore. Robin is our president of creative services. Give her a high five. Many of you don't know Robin right now, but you will. She has over 35 years of experience in agency operations, at one point running the largest independent brand agency in the US and dealing with many international clientele. She has such a pedigree, and we're super glad to have her on the team, thinking not just about our agency services, but also how do we go to market as a media company serving the entire industry. You know Paul, he has 22 years in the industry, was in that Vayner Mentors program, and leads us as our visionary CEO, casting vision and creating mission that we all get behind and drive toward an end goal. And what's really cool about what I know about Paul is he has a mission and a vision set for the 30 or so people that are in our organization right now, but he sees so broadly, not even into just our industry, but to culture, believing that if there's an industry that has a retail operation on almost every corner and tech integration that touches many other industries, that we can be a cultural impact. That type of visionary as CEO is super important. And then for those that don't know, just a couple years ago, we actually brought in Michael Cirillo. He's the host of the Dealership Playbook, the longest running podcast in retail auto, and author of a best-selling marketing book, Tech and Marketing Guru. And we brought him in for a very unique purpose. It's a role that a lot of companies don't have, but we're seeing them pop up. Michael's our chief of staff, and that role is extremely important in curating an environment and a career path and growth for people that are leading and being the doers of this mission and vision so that we can serve this industry. Putting the role of culture creators, visionaries of an entire industry on the backs of 30 people is a weighty thing. And if I look around the room at our team, we've felt the weight in many ways, even in the last 10 days. And Michael is here to do that. So I'd love to introduce Michael to you and hear his perspective on what that looks like transitioning into this industry.
Oh, shucks. No, I'm kidding. Well, you heard a little bit about our story. You heard how Paul and Kyle got connected. How Kyle and I got connected actually goes back to the great frenzy of Clubhouse. You remember that? And I think you created a channel, and I created a channel for my podcast, and he messaged me. We had some interaction, but not a lot at this moment. He messaged me and he said, "Hey, yo, like you and I use a lot of the same words." And I think most people might be threatened by that. And my immediate reaction was, oh, there's unity. There's unity with people in this industry that we haven't even really gotten to know yet. And what I took that as is that those words created a standard. That standard created part of a movement. And part of what I do as a chief of staff is, in caring for people, is to amplify the fact that care can be quantified. It's something that we're challenged with in our industry a lot of times, is that we don't know how we can really quantify culture. We don't know how we can quantify care. How can I be a stern leader and an accountable leader and also care about the hearts and minds of the people with which I have stewardship? And so when they approached me, we were at a cafe in Argyle, Texas, having breakfast, I think, ahead of an NADA, and they were sharing with me what that standard and that vision and mission was. What they didn't know during that meeting is that I was waiting for them to shut up so I could just say, yes, I want to be a part of it. I already knew. Why? Well, at the time that Kyle and I connected, I was still living in Canada. They were all the way in Tennessee and in Syracuse, New York. And what that taught me is that movements don't have boundaries if they're meaningful enough. There was no border to this movement. It was far-reaching. Think about that inside of your organization. What can you do to amplify and perpetuate your mission, vision, values to a degree that people are so bought in that they want to fight to be a part of your organization? What I know about the More Than Cars team is that they fight every day to be a part of this organization. They give of their time, talents, abilities, their care. They take great stewardship for our client partners and for the industry at large. It is no simple task to buy into creating a movement for an entire industry. And that movement I think is the greatest thing that I can do is understanding that movements never start from the outside, they have to start from the inside out. I'm incredibly grateful for our team here, for the care and concern that they have for the mission that our founder and our visionary has set, that Kyle amplifies, and that I now get to amplify as a chief of staff. Now, I remember one of my first interactions here in Syracuse, it was like, well, chief of staff, that sounds like a really scary title. Like, isn't that reserved for the Pentagon? And I think, yeah, it is kind of new, but my invitation to the people in our organization and to the industry at large is to amplify your culture, because your culture is what's going to create this movement for your organizations, and that movement is what's going to make this a place that people want to fight to be a part of. This is the greatest industry on planet Earth. There's no question about it. If you can't tell, I am not passionate about it at all. This is the greatest industry in the world. This is an industry that has blessed so many lives, that will continue to bless lives. It's inspiring to see so many people that are coming into this industry and finding a future for themselves that is bigger and bolder than they could have ever imagined. I feel deeply grateful that they extended the invitation to me to be a part of this, to help amplify the culture internally as part of this movement. And I guess as the chief of staff now for this movement, my invitation to you is to do that inside of your organizations. That's the work that I get to do here at More Than Cars.
No, let's hear it from Michael. Won't you don't you just want to give this man a hug? If you want to hear that buttery smooth voice, you should listen to his podcast, The Dealer Playbook, by the way. You can hear it all the time. I also want to make another great announcement, is that we have added to our advisory council a longtime friend and mentor now. You can put his picture up, James Orsini, who has been Executive Vice President, Director of Finance and Operations for a little company called Saatchi & Saatchi. He was Director of North America for Interbrand. He served Gary Vaynerchuk for the last 8 years and continues to do so, as he was their COO. And now he is the President of Startup Operations, standing up businesses. He knows everything there is to know. I don't even have to I won't even say about whatever. James is one of the wisest mans I've ever met. He told me every morning he prays for the wisdom of Solomon, and I told him I think God answers that prayer every morning. And so he's been a longtime friend and mentor, and now he gets to be a mentor to our company and an advisor, I would say, to our industry. So we're super excited to welcome James, and hope you maybe see and hear a little bit more from him in the future. We have one more video to play for you, and then we're going to tell you what we're up to for the next 12 months, some things we haven't announced at all yet, but we're about to. It's really hard to explain all of the things we do, even to our own families sometimes. Yeah, we're getting a lot of nods. What do you actually do? I can't remember, right? We did a lot today. And so the team did a great job of putting together a video that encapsulates all the things we have done and the things we will be doing across all the verticals now that represent More Than Cars. So we hope you have a little fun watching this one.
Welcome to More.
Instead of the stigma of we're going to really rip some people off today, it's like, no, we're going to be better parents. We're going to be better family. We're going to be better friends. We're going to be better people.
Today, we get to share that evolution with you.
Let's get you on the back.
Got me a little bit in the back. Woo!
We're not done with the announcements. We have a few more things to share with you. We are super excited. Many of you have seen the show that formerly is known as More Than Cars. We've released season 1 to Amazon Prime, Tubi, and YouTube TV. And we are excited to announce that season 2 will be under the moniker of The Truth About Car Dealers. You'll see this sign a lot of different places. We believe that that is really the heart that we're trying to share, that we want to let more people know about the truth about car dealers and what that's going to be. We'll be releasing season 2 this fall. We're also going to be increasing our relationship and our involvement in the public discourse, because we know that this is not just something that our industry needs to know about, but needs to be broader. We're going to be at the LA Auto Show here in November, at DC's Public Policy Day yet again, and increasing our relationship with the public.
Don't skip the LA Auto Show. This is our first West Coast activation ever. So if you're on the West Coast, we're coming. If you're
coming
in
to
LA or the area, come see us at the LA Auto Show.
Yeah, it's going to be the first day there. We've got a big setup and going to be doing a lot of content alongside of them. We've also increased our international influence. We'll be sharing more of that over the next couple months. And you can mark the dates now for ASOTUCon 2026. They're going to be May 12th through the 15th. I think I got those right. The dates aren't anywhere on my screen. Nathan, the producer, said that's absolutely right. And for the very first time ever, on the Tuesday of that show, on the backs of the longest running AI newsletter for the retail industry, autoindustry.ai.
Which you've probably never heard of.
Which you might not have heard of. We are going to be having our very first AI summit. We'll be releasing information about that over the next 30 days. We can't wait. We've even got some outside of industry people coming to speak to us there. And then a really fun announcement. We have always had a desire to give back in the same way that so many dealers and industry partners do. As a startup, that's difficult. But for 2027, we're really excited to announce at the onset, at the start of the NADA show, we're going to be hosting a charity golf tournament when we are in Orlando with NADA, and we can't wait for you to be a part of that tournament, and bring all your friends. And we're going to be able to give back to so many of the charities that we've been so excited to share and partner with over that time.
All right, we've reached the end. Last question. What can I do to be more a part of the movement?
What can I do, Paul?
Well, let me tell you. First and foremost, the best way is to just connect on the stuff. Sign up for the email. Go to morethancars.com, which is now totally flipped.
It's flipped.
Morethancars.com is a new website. I don't know how you magically did that while we're up here, but great job. And you can connect with all the types of content. The daily email goes out every day. A lot of people say it's the first email they read in the day. It makes them feel good about being in the industry. They learn a little something. Autoindustry.ai, another great email. You can go there, and there is almost a year's worth of content. AI, information, prompts, all this stuff specifically related to the auto industry. We want you to follow us on the socials, right? The biggest conversation right now is happening on LinkedIn, so LinkedIn channels. We'd be remiss if we say, get the shirts. Right? As I'm looking out, a lot of people in the studio audience have the shirts. We want you to have the shirts too. It's so fun to see them around. We custom make them, and a lot of dealers and industry partners around the country now requested, can I get these for my team? And we said we can do one better. We'll actually put your company name, instead of where it says ASOTU under here, it'll say your company name. So there's some dealerships where they bought them for their whole team, front of the house, back of the house, everybody wears them on Friday. And do you think that's a conversation starter? When someone comes in to buy a car and the salesperson's reading a shirt that says, love people more than you love cars, you better be ready to hold your people accountable to that if you're going to wear the shirts. And that's how we're going to make this industry one that people fight to join. Finally, we want to work with you. We have agency services now. We have a way to inject some of this More Than Cars energy of the 30-ish people that we call home, and all the energy from around the industry that we absorb on a regular basis. It's like the Black Panther suit. Absorbs it all and then boom, boom, right? So we want to help do that for your organization. So again, you can go to morethancars.com and check that out. Do we have a big closing finale?
Do we have a big closing finale? I don't know.
Everyone in here right now, you know what they're thinking? What's about to come through that door?
I don't know what's about to come.
We don't have anything, but listen,
Nothing.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. Let's hear from the studio audience. Thank you so much for being a part of this movement. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.